Okay, so we are on the functions and linear models unit. There are different type of functions. Functions do consist of having a domain, a range, and you can write things in function notation. But more importantly, for this unit, we want to know a little bit about the different functions. So mainly we're dealing with linear functions. In the future, you may see quadratic functions, cubic, exponential, and these other type of functions. And you can see here, they all look different on the graph. You can see their equations look something like this. For the most part, they might, they slightly vary here and there. And their domain and range. The domain is the x values, what the x values can be. And for linear functions, it could be negative infinity to positive infinity for both your x and y values because it goes infinitely in two directions. So we first will be evaluating functions, which is pretty simple. You're just plugging in numbers. So a lot of times when it comes to graphing, you can just plug numbers in. So what is the output when x is -5? So if I plugged in a -5 here, I would get -30, right? We would have 6 times -5 plus 100, which would get you -30 plus 100, which is 70. So when x is -5, your k will be 70. And so for evaluating functions, this part, you're just really just plugging things in. You can also evaluate by looking at the graph. So when x is -7, your y is -5, right? Wait, that's not -7, sorry. When x is -7, your y, so x is -7, your y is -6. So it's very easy to also evaluate functions by looking at the graph. When x is -9, y is 1. And so that's pretty much what you're doing when you're also plugging them in. You're by plugging them in and using PEMDAS, you're seeing what your y value is. So let's move on to function rules for equations. Rearrange the equation so w is the independent variable. So this is where it could get kind of tricky. Lots of students don't know how to rearrange equations. It really takes practice. So I want to get the w alone, right? It's just like with solving equations. They tell you when you want to move something that's positive to the other side, you subtract, and vice versa. When something's being multiplied, you divide, and vice versa. Same thing here. I want to get the w alone. So let's add the 2u to the other side. Now I want to get rid of this 6. Well, when something's being multiplied, you divide. So I now have w equals 9/6 plus 2/6u. Always simplify your fractions. So the first fraction can be divided by 3, which will get you 3/2. The second one can be divided by 2, which gets you 1/3. And there it is. And that's pretty much in slope-intercept form. So that's if we wanted to get w alone. I just realized we want w to be the independent variable. So we need to get the u by itself. That's weird. If it was independent, it would not depend on anything. So yeah, it would actually be u equals. Okay, so u equals, so now this is fine. Now we get more practice in. We want to get the u by itself, so you'll see how it's different. So we want to minus the 6w to the other side of the equation. We now have -2u equals 9 minus 6w. And then we divide everything by -2. And then we simplify if we can. We get u equals 9 over -2. And -6w over -2 gets you positive 3w. So there it is. U is equal to 9 over -2. So that fraction is negative. Plus 3w. Okay, so we want to get the m alone here. So all you have to do is minus 1 to the other side. That's it. So you can leave this just like this, minus 1 to the other side. Simple for this one. For this one, we want to get the x, no, the y alone. So we're going to then minus 6 to the other side. Also very easy. Okay, this one's a little trickier when you want to get the W alone. So first, you can see there are W's on both sides of the equation. So we want to get those together. So let's minus 4u to the right. And we now have a W equals negative 6u plus 2w. And then let's minus 2w to the left. That way we get the u's together, the w's together, just like when you're solving equations, right? And then we divide everything by 6. And so w is equal to negative u. Hold on, I must have did something wrong. Oh, this is a negative 3u. That's why. This should be a negative 3. So that should be a negative 7u. So negative 7u over 6. Okay, make sure you put the correct number. And that's that. That's pretty much the first part of this unit. Very simple. Good luck.